Okay. Hi guys. I hope you all can hear me clearly. My name is Stuti Chawlani, and I am actually an engineer by education, but I've been an entrepreneur for a couple of years now. To tell you about a little bit about myself, I come from a small town called Korba. I don't think so you would have heard of it. I did my education from there, and with a little bit of luck and a little bit of hard work, I started my engineering with NIT Surat in 2004. I did my chemical engineering from there, and luckily I got actually placed in Indian Oil uh, as a campus selection. I was out of those lucky few 8, 9 people that got selected. Fresh out of college, didn't have much clue about what do I really want. So I thought, okay. And as my name suggests, I'm a Sindhi, so business runs in my blood. And in fact, I was the first one in my entire family to do a job. When I did decide to do a job, my actual reason for doing it was I've always been very, very clear with what I want. So my actual reason of doing a job was just to understand what is out there. I didn't know what I wanted, but I never thought that I wanted whatever I wanted, I couldn't achieve. So I always knew that all I had to know was what is it that I want. And I think I would start with telling you guys that first of all, if you have a dream, kudos, kudos to you. If you don't think that you're one of those who don't have dreams. No, everybody can and actually have dreams. It just takes a little extra time for a lot of people to understand. Yes, coming to my background, I worked with Indian Oil for almost 3.5 years with all possible situations there and dealt with all big shots and everybody. And I did realize that what brought me joy was actually when I thought about my college life and when I used to do events, like college events. And that's where I thought I had my passion for. Now, to think of it, I think it was all about the managerial skills that I had, or probably a decent communication skill as well, where I thought that this is something that has brought me joy. Why not I pursue that? Indian Oil was a very well settled job, a public sector, of course, but I did want to take that leap of faith. I wanted to know whether my passion towards event management is something that is what I was meant to do, and why not to take the road instead of just later on regretting about it and or not taking the road. So with that comfort of Indian Oil, I dropped it and I took that leap of faith. Now, another thing that I would like to tell you, first doing anything, especially startups, is network. You have to know things about what you're getting into, and the only way you could do that is by talking to people who have either been in that industry or any way related. That is the first and foremost step. Network, connect with people. Actually, it is, people think that it's really hard to talk to people that you haven't spoken to in your college days, school days, uncles, aunties, whatever, etc., etc. It's actually, it gets easier, and it kind of helps you develop a new skill of connections, of making connections. Now I can talk to any stranger about what I want, and I can actually be very, very clear about what I want. So that's where I started looking out for people who have been in the industry, could give me some guidance about it. And I happened to meet one of my college seniors who was working in event management, and I asked him, can I actually work for you guys? He did give me an opportunity to work for them on a freelance basis, which uh, which eventually converted into a job in event management. I have worked in event management for 4.5 years almost. Guess what? It wasn't my cup of tea. Yes, surprise. My passion was it. But then I don't actually feel bad that that didn't last, because it was another thing that I feel so happy about that I did. Because if I would not have, I would have always been that what if person. What if I did try that? What if I, I would have been very, very good at it. I was good at it. I am telling you that. And I'm actually, I'm leaving the, I'm not being very humble here, but then I'm just trying to tell you guys how everything has worked in my life. Eventually, the reason why I'm telling you about event management is sometimes the first road that you choose is not actually the final destination. So even though I worked in it, it taught me a lot of things that I never knew that I could do or there's out there in the world. Whether it is again networking, whether it is to understand, whether it is to struggle, whether it is to deal with failure, everything I did. I have worked really, really hard for enormous amount of time to understand that that's not what I want to do. And guess what I'm doing right now? Introducing to you my company, which is called International Academy of Languages. Completely different. Why languages? Where did it come from? Okay. As I said, I come from a small town. Small towns have good schools, but they don't actually have that level of communication skill practices or such kind of, I don't know, interactive activities, etc., which would actually help you develop your overall personality, communication skills, and teach you how to be in a corporate world. That was something that I wasn't taught in my school or my college or anywhere. That was something that I had to learn on the go. I did commit a lot of mistakes. I did learn it, but then it came with a lot of years of struggling, trying hard. That's where I actually thought when I sat down one day at home, I had a detailed discussion with my partner, my uh, father, my family, and I was just discussing with them. I really don't know what to do, and I'm sure a lot of people feel like this. That I really don't know what to do. I wish I was. Sometimes I feel like I wish I had a talent, like I would have been a musician or a cricketer or something like that, which would have given me a passion to work for. What if I don't have a passion? The one thing that I really felt that I had passion for, which was event management, it is not working out the way that I thought. Okay, I did feel like a little let down with everything that was happening. The support that brings to you from your family and your friends is another important thing that works extremely well for an entrepreneur's life. You have to have supporting positive people around you. I know that everybody says you can do it, you're born for it, you do it. I tell you what, it works. It works a lot. Positive thoughts, positive thinking, positive push towards the right direction is something that has worked for me, and I'm sure it works for a lot of people. So, first of all, if you have any negative baggage around you, any friend who calls you stupid, please drop him out of your friend circle. If they are not positive about you, they're not needed. And don't be completely reliant on a lot of uh, friend circle only, though you guys are millennials, and I'm sure millennials feel like friends are the real family, uh, which I, being the first generation of millennials myself, I also felt that way, which is actually a good thing, but you have to kind of trim your friend circle and only stick with people who really, really have the best interest, your best interest in their heart. uh, Saying that, um, this is what I have done. I have started a company which is called International Academy of Languages. The background of it came from my inability to have good communication skills when I started my career. I had to learn it on the go. I thought if there would have been something that would have been given to me during my college days or my school days, where somebody would have told me that it's not really, it's not only important to have a pool of knowledge, but it's also important to know how to present yourself. Um, this is what I really clicked with, and this is something that I've learned on the go a lot. So I thought, why not to actually work in a direction like this? Hence, I kind of did a lot of research about it. Third point, research. Research is very, very important when you're doing a business. You have to know what is out there, what's currently running. The reason why anybody would start a business or somebody would actually pay you for your product or services is if you're actually providing them a solution to a problem. So always look for a pain point. Look for a pain point that you can figure out a solution to. That's it. That's actually the bottom line of any business. Figure out something that would make somebody's life easier. It's as simple as that. You look around you, any product that you see, any service that you see, anything around you makes somebody's life better. That is why that product is being sold, and that is why the product has been actually working. And when I say product, consider services as well. Okay, to give you an example, the latest example that I have is Urban Clap. Let's say Urban Clap is an app which has started doing. It's not that the cleaning services are not out there. It's not that there are no salon services. There are no helping. There are no laborers, electrician. ऐसा नहीं है कि nobody's. Uh, you've never heard of an electrician. They haven't invented something like completely new. What they have given is you the comfort. They have made your life a little better. You don't actually have to go downstairs out of your building, look out for a hardware store, go and check out whether you have an electrician nearby or not, figure out, call him up, etc. etc. So all they have done is just taken that one step, electrician, repairing, you needing it. Between step is what they have taken out and they have placed themselves there. That's all. But it did make your life a lot easier and people are ready to pay for it. I'm just giving an example to tell you how anybody thinks of a business. All you have to do is think of a pain point and think of a solution. Try to make your solution a little innovative so that you're not repetitive. However, there are 10 ice cream shops. Why there are 10 brands? Because it's not a market of a single person. No market is of a single person. You can on any day have any business which is already present. Innovation gives you that edge if you're looking for that. Does not mean that you should not. Innovation sometimes comes on the way also. Okay, coming back to my company, International Academy of Languages focus not only on corporate communication and training college people, college guys to actually develop their communication skills in a way where they become a little more presentable. Because I'm sure you guys have to deal with a lot of other situations like interviews, or some people have a lot of situations you'll be given out there in the world where you have to attend meetings and do, like, I don't know, report presentation. And if you're not very good at presenting yourself, the entire background of you having a lot of knowledge actually nullifies. Not nullify. I'm being a little strict here. Not nullify, but definitely it loses its intensity. So that is where the idea of my company came into the picture. Uh, because communication skills in today's world has a lot to do with English, that's where we started from. And we realized that if you're dealing with that generation doesn't want to be restricted to a certain brackets. That's where actually other languages came in the picture. I have been dealing with foreign languages for a long time, and I've realized that globe, actually the world has really, really become a small place. You cannot restrict yourself. You know, we're not in those 80s or 70s where गाँव का छोरा शहर जाता and that's it. We are actually, the world has become such a small place that you can actually be anywhere in the world and settle anywhere in the world. And a lot of people feel that way. A lot of people want to see the world. A lot of people want to explore what's out there. Better opportunities are there out in the world, not just in India. India is a pool of opportunities. It is a land of opportunities, but there are so many other countries which also offer you a lot of opportunities, a lot of better lifestyle, and a lot more to offer. And that's where we decided to actually bring in foreign languages in the picture. What I've learned in my journey as an entrepreneur for like couple of years is you just have to take one step at a time. Please do not expect your business to grow suddenly. That miracle doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. Overnight success stories are only stories. Nobody has become overnight success. Everybody has worked hard. The only thing that they have done is they have masked their struggle or their early years of struggle with saying that that was a low period and suddenly it spiked. Sorry. No, never happened. It doesn't happen. Nobody can actually become an overnight success. You have to be working hard for it. So, another tip from my side is do not shy away from working hard and do not expect an overnight success. It will never happen. Even if you're as brilliant as, I don't know, Einstein, who couldn't do an overnight success himself, let me tell you. Uh, a lot of recent time has been about startups. Hence, the culture of startup has been developed in India, which is a brilliant thing. I truly believe in everybody working for themselves, which is a very huge perk having your own business. But it also comes with a lot of responsibilities. So be very sure of what you want to do and how long can you actually take it up. One of the things that I've done in my initial stages of starting my business was I have put in all of my savings money. Now, why is that important? Two things. One is I have to support my business. If I don't believe in it, then I don't think so I can convince anybody else to believe in it. So that's point number one. Point number two, you have to be all in it. Because if you always keep a side door open or something like that, sir, it just means that you're ready to fail. So you actually have to put everything in. I am not an eggs in one basket kind of person, but in this situation, I would highly recommend that you do that. You put in all your efforts, everything that you can think of in this startup or in the idea that you want to pursue, so that you feel like this is the only thing out there in the world. But be prepared that if it doesn't work out, you should be able to like that. Okay. um, there are multiple ideas. There are multiple people with different ideas. So another thing that I would also recommend is figure out common ideas, common tastes. That because partnership works, partnership helps a lot. That's another thing that I have felt that a good partner is always a very good investment in the business. Figure out a good partner. Do not rely on anybody and any. How do you do that? Uh, have a lot of meetings before you actually go ahead with a partnership. And another thing that I would recommend is make them meet those people who are actually having your best interest at heart. Because they have your best interest at heart, they would actually be able to guide you and could able to see some things that you're not able to see. Because once you actually have uh, positive thoughts, it's very easy to not be able to see those red flags out there in somebody's partnership. So that's something that I think should help you. A business with a partner is extremely, like, I mean, it's always a good choice. However, a business with a bad partner is absolute no no. So figure out a right partner. If at all there's it is better to have no partner than to have a bad partner. So if you're ever working out with somebody, if you're ever planning to do something with somebody, please do a very thorough check whether everything matches. You can definitely have different positives, different skill set, where, for example, you're good at sales and the other person is good at innovation. That kind of collaboration works, so that he or she would do their part of it, you could do your part of it. Another thing that I have learned during my entrepreneurship is when you start working with a team. Eventually, when you're not a team of one person yourself, you would grow. Trust me, you would. You would grow, and eventually you would become a bigger team. And when I say bigger, it could be two people, or then eventually four, or 16, or 20, or hundreds. My only suggestion to you is be a good boss. Be a good boss. Um, I have actually switched from a couple of jobs only because of the bosses. And coming from first-hand experience, when people say that you're not a people leave because of not because of a bad job, but because of a bad boss, that's true. After becoming an entrepreneur, the next stage is how to deal with your team. How do you manage your team? Because that's extremely important. If you're not able to do that, eventually the growth would become stagnant and you'd not be able to grow after a certain stage. So you have to be very uh, motivating towards your team. If you're working with a team, if you have to ensure that you understand and have a level of empathy with them. Uh, Third is delegate. Delegate the work. You cannot be an expert in everything that you do. I'm not an expert at digital marketing. I have to look for a partner who's going to work on digital marketing. I'm not very good at, let's say, sales pitch. Then I have to look for somebody who's going to do that for me. I cannot actually think that I can. I'm jack of all trades. I can't. I would rather be a master of one than be jack of all. That's something that has worked for me a lot, and I would again suggest all of you. Startups are something which a lot of people will tell you there are do's and don'ts, there are tips what to do, and a lot of things works. A lot of things work because if when I was starting out, one of my partners said that I think networking is something that's just going to work a lot. And I was like, this has nothing to do with networking. I cannot understand why would I be networking. I mean, there's no reason for it. He said that's something that I really think that should work. So I got, because of his insisting it on it, I got myself aligned with a couple of business groups and a couple of my uh, old college connections and everywhere. And I figured out I got a lot of business from them. I actually found a mentor with them as well, which I was never expecting. So you have to be open to a lot of ideas. You have to be learning a lot of new things, which you should be completely open to. My only suggestion is you're the owner of the company, so behave like it. Because everything that you have put in is going to come back to you. If you don't believe in your product, none of your team would believe in your product. If you not invest yourself completely in a product, none of your team would do that. Uh, I don't think so that the ownership feeling has to come from, has to be anywhere less. In fact, that's something that you should uh, transcend to other people also from your team, so that everybody feels like they are a part of this company and they should feel that level of ownership. It eventually makes it a very good environment to work in. Lastly, coming to an investor. Okay, why would anybody invest in you? Whether they're investing their money, time, effort, anything. Why would anybody do that? Two reasons. One, they have to believe in you. They should know that you are the best person to be able to do what you're doing. You have to convey that. Second is your product or your services should be able to sell. They have to solve a problem and should be able to sell. An investor is looking for somebody who has actually invested in themselves, whether it is time, effort, money, etc. You have to be somebody who has invested, who has complete belief in themselves, and all the things that I told you are actually threaded to each other. Getting positive people around you, believing in you, would help you believe in yourself. Good networking, new projects, new things to learn from different people would help you learn a lot, and believe in your product also. And you can keep on modifying your product to the best of their ability. So that's another thing that would help you. Putting in your money or putting in your effort and putting in all that you have in that is another thing that would make investors believe that this person is completely involved in this project. So whatever that I have explained to you, each stage would eventually help you to make a business. Now, whether that business becomes successful or not, that is something which is completely dependent on a few factors. Some of these factors are completely in your control. Some of these are not. Let me tell you, there are reasons that startups fail because there are reasons that they are completely out of your control. You say all you need hard work. I've given that. All you say you have to believe in yourself. Yes, I did that. You've solved a pain point. Yes, I did that. You have good network. You've got good connection of people. You have that. But still, there are reasons which are completely beyond your control. Like the market. If the market is not going out in a certain direction, that might, then your product might not work. Or what if the market is suddenly flooded with some ideas which are exactly like yours, and you become, when you were thinking that you were the only one doing that, there are 10 other companies who are working exactly like that, and your portion, your share of the market is suddenly diluted. So there are many reasons that could actually make a startup not work. I mean, there is nothing that you can do about all of these things. The only thing that you can do is, if you have an idea, run with it. Run with it to the best of to the fullest strength, and do the best that you can. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't. You just have to keep on trying. Nothing. You will be extremely lucky if your idea works out in the first time itself. So do not consider if your idea didn't work out. People try like hundreds of times. I'm sure there are many examples that could connect to you in your mind, like Einstein, or there are many, many, uh, you know, renowned people who have tried a lot, and then they have become success. All you need is keep on trying. I really, really believe in that. I think if you if you have an idea and it has worked, good. If it has not worked because of any reasons, first of all, figure out if it was your fault, if it was some other reason. If it is your fault, please figure out what are the reasons. Because a lot of entrepreneurs, what they do is, with every attempt that they do, they kind of repeat their mistakes. Like almost 70 to 80% of the mistakes would be repeated. So whatever that you would have done in your first time and committed a couple of mistakes there, at least 70 to 80% would be repeated in the next time. That's something that should be completely avoided. That's something that I have tried my with my personal experience. What I have done is, how that has worked for me is, I have always maintained like a little diary of mine where I keep on writing. If I keep on writing, I do not miss out on a lot of things. I keep on writing. If I learn something new, I keep on writing on it, and that diary is always there on my nightstand. I just keep on glancing over it. If I've ever had a struggling day, I would just read on through that and figure out, okay, okay, this looks like something that I've done earlier also, and maybe I should not go in this direction. Maybe I should, whenever that I'm talking to an investor, there have been times where I have believed in my product so much that I've actually kind of always. This is something that I'm actually admitting a flaw of my own, that I have sometimes over explained my products, which has made feel an investor feel like they are not capable enough to understand my product, which is not true. I have just over explained it. This is a flaw that I have always noticed in my presentation. So I have tried to work on it. Uh, Similarly, you guys should also keep on maintaining what is it that you did wrong. You always have to do that little postmortem of every disaster or any problem that you've had, so that you know what all things have not worked and eventually what should work. It's a trial and error method. All you have to do is keep on trying. There will be error, there will be mistakes. All you have to think of is how I can ensure that I do not do that the next time. Um, the overall uh, thought process of an entrepreneur has to come from within. It is not something that you should do because others are doing it. Entrepreneurship has to come from within. If you're comfortable in a certain lifestyle and you do not want to work beyond a certain number of hours, entrepreneurship is not for you. Do not do it because of a rat race, because everybody is doing it. You do not have to be an entrepreneur only. There are people who are working in a regular lifestyle and they're pretty happy with it. So do it only and only if you feel passionate about it. When did I realize that I was passionate about it? Is I think I've always known that. Since childhood, I come, as I said, I come from a small town, from a small family. So uh, I used to always try to help my family, my father, my uncles in their businesses in whatever tiny little way that I could. And I always felt like that's something that I really liked. And when I was working with Indian Oil, I realized that I have a lot of potential that I can actually use, because, in my opinion, and this is completely a personal opinion, I am not saying that this is something which is a fact, I'm just giving you a personal opinion. In my opinion, any job is generally working in a vertical direction. You do not grow horizontally. What I'm trying to say is, if you're doing something and you're good at it, that's the only thing that you'll be doing for the next couple of years of your life. If you're doing a job, is what I have realized, and that's just my opinion, and that is why I never wanted to do it. I actually want to learn a lot of other things so that I can say that I know stuff. I am still like, I've touched, like I've barely dipped my feet in the water here, but I still feel very happy about it because I've learned a lot of things, and now I can see that I have a lot of experience, if not knowledge. That was the reason for me to go ahead and do something of my own. I did realize I could connect with something, which was communication skills, and I thought of doing that. You have to have that kind of connection with something. You don't have to do it because इसने किया है, उसने किया है, उसने किया है. The reason why Flipkart started is because they were working in Amazon and they realized कि Amazon का India version नहीं है. If they do it, वो चल जाएगा. Which was a brilliant idea, let me tell you, and that is why it worked. They everybody who's working as an entrepreneur feels like they are passionate towards their project. Then only they're going to be successful. If you're not, then don't try this. This is not something that would work without passion. So don't try this. It's not really mandatory to become an entrepreneur for you. If you're not willing to put in all the effort or the hard work all the time, and you have to feel extremely passionate about it, it's a very hard. It's an uphill task. Everything that you're going to do is going to be an uphill task. But the best part of it is when you're at the top of the hill where you feel like now I've done my best and I've achieved the best possible result, it gives you an amazing feeling. So you have to, if you're feeling a little bit towards inclined towards it, you should try it. Try it if it works out. If it is something that you truly feel that that's something that you can pursue, then only you should continue. An investor would eventually see that in you. They would. I have been dealing with a lot of investors myself, and I've realized that my passion has come through from my words. I think so. I hope so. That has come through because that's where they have actually shown interest. That listen, I feel like you would be whatever that you're doing. There's a lot of scope. I've made them realize that there's a lot of scope. There's a lot of growth possibility, and I'm the right person to drive this engine towards that direction. So that is what I think should you guys should also try. I'm not an expert in the subject completely, but I'm just telling you all of my experiences and really hoping that you guys could connect with this with a few things at least, because I've been saying about a lot of things, and all of this has come from my journey of past 10 years or so in corporate world and in trying to do a passion. So my story, if I give you in a very nutshell, is born in a small town, did engineering like a typical millennial, tried working for a PSU, which was extremely comfortable lifestyle. Thought I had a passion towards events, so I tried doing that for 4 years. Eventually, I realized that that passion is not actually going to work for me, and that realization was almost feeling like a failure, which I did overcome. Figured out another plan, another thought process, have been working towards that thought process, started a company on my own, working for this company, and eventually trying to make it success. And success has my definition. Everybody has their own definition of success, but I'm looking to have a national brand. That's my plan. I know I have a goal. I want to make this a national brand. Anybody thinks of any foreign languages, any communication skills, they should think of International Academy of Languages. That is my goal. So yes, eventually an entrepreneur has to have a goal. How would you? I mean, I am not a believer in running for a marathon. I am a believer in running for a 100 meter or 200 meter race, because there I know I have a target. But then the other thing that I do is I do not finish at one race. I have if I've done 100, I would do 200. If I've done 200, I would do 400. I would keep on increasing my uh, you know the capability, my race targets, my goals, etc. So this is what I truly think would help you keep on going. Entrepreneurship is not a 1 day job, it's not a 1 year job, it's not a 10 year job. It is something, if you take it up, it's going to be there with you for the entire life until you decide not to. With that, anybody has any questions, I would love to take it up, because I think I have kind of given you everything that I could think of for an entrepreneur. So if you have any questions, I'll wait for you guys for another minute or so. Okay, guys, questions? It's like nobody has a question. Okay, guys. I think nobody has any question at this moment. I don't think so, because I can't. I'm not. I'm not received any question. So